Men's mortality shoots up shortly after retirement. Women's mortality does not. Some ideas to explain this are that men keep working despite poor health until an incident forces them to retire, and that once retired, many experience a sudden collapse of identity. Jungian Psychologist James Hollis muses about the myth of the fisher king Amfortas, whose name derives from the French word for infirmity. Across the different versions of the myth, Amfortas was wounded in his genitalia, representing a blow to his power and masculinity. The Fisher King cannot recover unless he finds the Grail, which is a medieval symbol for the container of the soul. Dr. Hollis wonders if men being judged by society based on their productivity is in part to blame for men's mortality spike shortly after retirement. Although it is clear that working hard and responsibility is a key part of being a man, what happens when the job and status and keys to the office fall away? What is left? Hopefully the answer is friends, a loving family, creative outlets, and an identity beyond work. But for many men, there is nothing. Maybe the marriage ended long before. Maybe the friends have fallen away over the years and the creative outlets sacrificed in the name of career advancement. For men, material success and status might bring accolades, but when you are defined by your productivity and shamed for failing, even if you do win, you often lose your soul in the process. Yet most men fail to defy their role expectations and choose to live from their own center. Unfortunately, these men drift further and further into isolation. Isolation from themselves, as well as the people in their life. Beasts of burden do not become free just because you remove the reins. There needs to be a shift away from validation that is externalized and driven by the shame and pride of productivity towards an intrinsically motivated center that is driven by personal values. Shifting this locus of motivation might mean tough decisions, such as breaking from a career that isn't meaningful. It might mean choosing work that isn't as respected or well paid. It might mean reducing hours to pursue creative projects, volunteer in the community, or spend more time with family. Or it might simply mean setting healthier boundaries at your existing job. What it doesn't mean is laziness or deferment. Living from your own center and your own values doesn't mean giving into lower or narcissistic behaviors, but often asks that we make difficult choices and labor intensely in service of higher values. T.S. Eliot wrote about the morning rush hour in his poem The Wasteland. Unreal city, under the brown fog of a winter dawn, a crowd flowed over London Bridge so many, I had not thought that death had undone so many. The last line about how many death has undone was originally written in Dante's Inferno about 6 centuries earlier. Dante was astonished at how many people had passed into the underworld. Mythologist Joseph Campbell describes T.S. Eliot's Wasteland as, "It is any world in which force and not love, indoctrination, not education, authority, not experience, prevail in the ordering of lives, and where myths and rites enforced and received are consequently unrelated to the actual inward realizations, needs, and potentialities of those upon whom they are impressed." In these terms, our modern Western society and corporate worlds are, largely, a wasteland. So can you ask yourself, in what ways have you compromised your values for security, productivity, and status? Can you honestly say that your relationship to work comes from your own center and your own sense of meaning? Or has death undone you too, just like all of those people in T.S. Eliot's Wasteland, crossing London Bridge for their daily commute?